सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् स यथा तत्र न दाह्येत ऐतदात्मविदं सर्वं तत्सत्यं सात्मा तत्त्वमसि श्वेतकेतो इति तद्भास्य विजाज्ञाविते विजिज्ञाविते। ननु सदस्मीति बुद्धिमात्रमिह कर्तव्यता चोद्यते न तो ज्ञातं सदसीति ज्ञाप्यते इति चेत्। Suppose we say इति चेत् that this vakya Tattvamasi simply enjoins a duty in the form of meditation. Sadasmiti, I am Sat, I am Sat. That meditation is what is enjoined by this vakya Tattvamasi, you are that. Nadu ajñātam sadasīti jñāpyate chodyate natu jñāpyate. This vakya is an instruction in what is to be done. Na jñāpyate. Not that this vakya makes you known what is unknown. That sadasīti ajñāpyate. That Shvetaketu did not know that I am Sat. And therefore, he is made to know that you are Sat. No, that's not the point. Shvetaka is told, he is not Sat, but it's told, may you meditate upon yourself as I am Sat, I am Sat, I am Sat. It is said, if this is what the interpretation of this Vakya is, then somebody says in between, Nanu asmin pakshepi ashrutam shrutam bhavati ityadi anupapannam. If Shvetaketu is not Sat or Brahman, he just looks upon himself as Brahman or entertains his bhavana or the spirit that I am Brahman, then in reality he is not Brahman. So then by knowing that, by thus superimposing idea of Brahman upon himself, he does not know himself as Brahman, he does not know Brahman. To meditate upon something is one thing, to know it is a different thing. So if by this process Shvetaketu will not know Brahman. If he does not know Brahman, then how will he know everything? Because that is Brahman or Sat, knowing which everything as well becomes known. If I know Sat or Brahman is myself, then by knowing myself, I as well know everything. That's the pratigna. So all of these conditions should be satisfied. This Vakya Tattvamasi should satisfy all these conditions. But knowing what, everything becomes known. But if he just meditates upon himself as Sat, means he does not know that he is Sat, then this pratigna cannot be satisfied. In that case, this Vakya does not explain this section in its entirety. Then that fellow says, no, na sadasmiti buddhi videhe stutyarthatvat. Hey, this statement that eka vijnanat sarva vijnatam bhavet, by knowing one thing, everything becomes known, do not take it literally. So there also is his own explanation. It is not to be taken literally, it is merely a stuti of Sat, knowing which everything becomes known. It is stuti, arthavada. For what purpose? For the purpose of supporting this vidhi, that you may meditate upon yourself as Sat. So sadasmi iti vijaniyat. That's the vidhi. And to support that vidhi is arthavada. What is Sat? By knowing which everything becomes known. So don't take Tattvamasi literally. Don't take Eka Vijnanana, Sarva Vijnanam also literally. Tattvamasi is meant as an instruction for meditation, and Eka Vijnanana, Sarva Vijnanam is meant as a stuti, arthavada, supporting this vidhi. Sadasmiti vijaniyat. Sustutyarthatvat. To that, Bhashyakara says, na acharyavan purusho veda. So understand further what this says, acharyavan purusho veda. One who has acharya, teacher, he acquires knowledge, that also you have to take into account. Understand that you should take into account this entire section while interpreting this one statement or any other statement. So just because you have some preconceived notion that Shvetaketu cannot be Brahman, that Vedas cannot be pramanam for revealing what is, Vedas are pramanam only when they instruct in what is to be done. So that is our conclusion. So people approach scriptures with their own conclusion. That I cannot accept that this beautiful world is mithya, I can't accept it. So you already have a conclusion and then you approach the scriptures, So it is not that Scripture is a pramana. So you have to change your perception if necessary to meet with what the scripture says. Not that you manipulate the scripture to validate what you think, So very often people are seeking the validation of their own view while they approach anything. Approach the scriptures, approach listening to anything, approach whatever, even any text, to see the validation. Says na acharyavan purusho veda. Remember that the text says that the one who is acharya comes to know, acquires the knowledge. Secondly, tasya tavadevacharam, that this knowledge gives him moksha, basically. That this knowledge sat asmi. So Shvetakara is told, you are sat. So Shvetakara is to know, I am sat. So whether that knowledge is in the form of meditation or whether the knowledge is in the form of aparoksha jnanam or the knowledge of his own self, what is the nature of that knowledge? So understand that about that knowledge it is said, acharyavan purusha veda, that knowledge sat asmi, I am sat, is to be acquired from acharya. Who is acharya? Asambhavanadi nirasa samartha acharyatva upadesha anarthakso. Who is acharya? Asambhavanadi nirasa samartha acharya. So acharya, the competent teacher, is the one who removes from the mind of the student his notion that there is no Brahman, or I don't know Brahman, I don't see Brahman. Abhava apadakam, asatva apadakam, abhana apadakam. So student comes with this kind of conclusions. Therefore, when he hears, you are Brahman, all kinds of problems or all kinds of conflicts arise in him, or all kinds of contradictions arise. So he has samshaya, he has viparya. So this is knowledge that can create samshaya. This is a statement that can create doubts, a statement that can create errors, a statement that can create contradiction with what you already know. May you perform this meditation, that doesn't create any doubt. So may you meditate upon yourself as Sat. Okay. You don't have to know yourself as Sat, you have to meditate. So that won't create samshaya, asambhavana, viparit bhavana, samshaya bhavana, won't be created. So you won't require acharya. If what you are told creates in you this asambhavana, samshaya bhavana, viparit bhavana, then you require acharya who can remove these things. So nirasa samartha acharya. So acharya, you need acharya who can remove all these obstacles to the knowledge. So when you are told tattvamasi, in that knowledge there can be obstacles of ignorance, of doubt, of error. Hey, do this. In that knowledge, there cannot be any of these problems. Therefore, this is knowledge which requires acharya. Understand that. And acharya is the one whose role is to remove asambhavana, samshaya bhavana, viparita bhavana. So if it is an instruction on meditation, then acharya would not be needed. In fact, when he is given the instruction, acharya is already there. Agnihotram juhuyat. Sadasmiti vijaniyat. Already there is acharya. And this knowledge does not create any need for a further acharya. So two different kinds of acharya are there. One is acharya which teaches you the recital of this text and the interpretation of the meaning of those texts. The purpose of those texts being to prepare you for living the life of activity. Then there is another text which is meant for preparing you for life of knowledge. It requires a different acharya. So acharya required for you to train you for activity or living the life of activity is one kind of acharya. Whereas acharya that enlightens you about the realities of yourself or life is a different kind of acharya. Because nature of instruction is different and nature of problems is different, and therefore the teaching and communication is all different. Acharya doesn't say you are Brahman. Simply does not say you are Brahman. It simply says perform Agnihotra. That does not require any background, does not require any bhumika, nothing. Here before you are told you are Brahman, a lot of background is required. A great context has to be created. How can I be Brahman? What is Brahman? Jagat Karanam. What kind of Karanam? Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. Ekameva Dvitiyam. Therefore, by knowing that, everything becomes known. Therefore, your jignasa, the desire to know, is completely satisfied. Therefore, you are liberated. It's liberating knowledge. That is, knowledge liberates you from all sense of bondage. And so, it requires to create an entire context. How knowing one thing, everything can be known. How knowledge can liberate you. What is the knowledge of nature of bondage, etc. All of these has to be developed. And therefore, you find in this chapter all of this being done, which is the role of Acharya. So if this was merely an instruction and meditation, then this whole thing would not be required. Why do you need to know what Sat is Jagat Karanam? All right, general knowledge. But that I am Sat, etc. is not required. Yadi sadasmeti buddhimatram kartavyataya vidhiyate. If this statement merely enjoins a meditation, Satsmi, I am Sat, natu tvam sabdavachyasya sadrupattvameva vidhiyate. The statement is not meant for conveying to Shvetaketu that you are Sat. Tvam sabdavachyasya tat tvamasi. So whatever is meaning of Tvam is Tat. Whatever is meaning of Tvam is Sat. So you have to know Tvam as Sat. If this is not the purpose of this statement, the statement was merely meant to instruct you into meditating upon Sat. Tada na acharyavan vedeti jnanopayopdesha upadesha vachasyat. Jnana upaya. Then Acharya is presented as Jnana upaya. Upaya, a means of knowledge. So not only Shastra is upaya for knowledge, but Acharya also is upaya for knowledge. And so it is very clear here that this knowledge cannot be gained without Acharya. Some other knowledge can be gained without Acharya. Knowledge of objective science can be gained without Acharya because you have a buddhi which can think and which can infer and which can arrive at its understanding. But here your buddhi and inference does not work. Not only does not work, but that you have come with all kinds of complexes and notions about yourself. You think that you know who you are. You think that you know what the Jagat is. You think that you know what Ishvara is. So here the student comes with a lot of baggage. There is no baggage as far as objective science is concerned. There is no baggage. I have no axe to grind in not accepting that there is law of gravity. It doesn't affect me. See, when something affects me, then there can be an axe to grind, meaning that then I have my own agenda. So with reference to knowledge about myself, I have an agenda. What's the agenda? Of retaining my present complexes, of retaining my present understanding. Because so far I have lived my whole life based on that understanding about myself, about Jagat, about Ishvara. And therefore I have justified my whatever I did. I have justified whatever I feel about the world and others. All justification of ragat dveshas, all I got. Now here is something that does no, that in fact does not support that justification at all. It completely unsettles me. And therefore, you require somebody who can very delicately operate without damaging you, without hurting you, somebody who should be able to release you from these things, So Acharya's job is a very important job. It's not simply communicating words, etc. Here is a live student before the Acharya. And the agenda of the Acharya is how to liberate, how to make the student free from sadness, from samsara. That is the agenda, not simply communicating, not the agenda. Their agenda is to instruct him, because you are capable of following that instruction. But here, the agenda is to help the student become liberated. Meaning, removing all the obstacles which are there in that liberation. And he himself is an obstacle. He in the form of his present conclusions and complexes and opinions is the obstacle. And not only opinions an obstacle, but my identification, my opinions, my need to feel that I am right, my need to be validated is very important. So if the teacher does not validate the student, then there is a problem. The student is not available. Turn them off. So then all of these has to be taken into account. In one-to-one communication, they are all general communication, different thing, but you see, it's one-to-one communication. So Acharya has to do all of this, which you do not need to do when it simply comes to training you for activities, for Agnihotra, Karma, etc. No emotion is involved there. The emotional being is not involved. The emotional being is involved, understand? It is emotional bondage. Intellectual stuff is there, but mainly emotional bondage in the form of my opinions, conclusions, complexes, and my identity, my needs basically. Emotional need of being validated, of being supported, of being accepted, of being loved. That emotional need is there. And therefore, when you are told that what you are thinking is wrong, you may feel that I am not being supported. So, without creating that complex, or without creating the feeling that I am rejected, because when my opinion is rejected, I feel rejected. I am so identified with my opinions that when that is not accepted, I am not accepted. I cannot create a distance between myself and my opinion. All of these the Acharya has to do. That's why it takes a long time. It's not merely just giving him the instruction, it is helping to grow intellectually and emotionally, to live up to what this statement means. So, Acharyavan Purusha Veda, therefore, only one who is Acharya, he alone knows, not because it's not simple knowledge in terms of intellectual knowledge, etc. It is knowledge of the self which knows the whole being. So, Jnanopayopadesha na vachasyat. If this is simply an instruction into meditation or an activity, then this upadesha that you must have the means of knowledge, you must have Acharya who is the means of knowledge, that would not have been necessary. So this is a knowledge that requires Acharya. That perform this meditation is not the knowledge that requires Acharya. But that you are Brahman is a knowledge that requires Acharya. I am Brahman, that knowledge requires Acharya. Yatha Agnihotram juhyat divyam adishu artha prabhyam acharyavatvam iti tadvata. Agnihotram juhyat. So may you perform, may one perform Agnihotra karma. So that Acharya is involved there. So the artha praptam. Artha means it is presupposing that somebody tells you to perform Agnihotra karma, or that presupposes an Acharya. You don't need other Acharya over and above that to be told to get clarification. Oh, what is Agnihotra? He all tells you all that stuff. And so, fact that another Acharya is required here, over and above the Acharya required for learning the text and reciting the text and learning the meaning, over and above that, shows that this is a different kind of knowledge. This is not a knowledge about instruction or meditation. Okay, continuing on the page 292. This is Anandagina line 12. Itascha so acharyavatvam no upadishyate iti shesha. See, artha prapnayava acharyavatvam no upadishyate. In Agnihotram Juhuyat, there is no upadesha about Acharyavan Purusha Veda. But here there is upadesha, therefore, this is a different kind of knowledge. Same thing, the other Tikakar also said in the line 24, Acharyavatvam anantaram Pruthak Acharyavatvopadesha Nasti Disha, same thing. After the word Acharyavatvam, afterwards Pruthak Acharyavatvopadesha Nasti. In Agnihotram Juhuyat, we do not find any Upadesha that you require another Acharya. Pruthak Acharyavatvam, you know. The Acharya is saying that go to Acharya. You see, that's the thing here. When Acharya says, you go to Acharya. So when Bada Swamiji went to Rishikesh to Shivananda Ashram and lived there then Swami Shivananda directed him to Swami Tapovan Maharaj. Acharya says, you go to Acharya. Acharyavan Purusha Veda. That was required to form him, to shape him from rough material, to bring out what final material came out is different. But that's what that Acharya did, you know. So you require, I guess, everybody requires the kind of Acharya that is required for that person anyway. Nobody other than Tapovan Maharaj could have done that. Can you imagine that this Swami, he was shivering, you know, he was afraid, he was scared, he was controlled. Who can control him? No, you can't imagine, you know. But he was controlled and he was kept under check and discipline. And that's how the shaping and forming happened, you see. So, one Acharya is saying, go to other Acharya. So, Prasad Acharyavatvam, the need for another Acharya is there for this knowledge. Then the Tikakara continues there, Kincha, Tasya Tavadeva Charimati, Sharirapata Paryantam, Vilambakaranam, Vakyasya, Vastu Nishthatve, Yujyate. Kincha, furthermore, it says, Tasya, so take every Vakya into account. Tasya Tavadeva Charam iti. Sharirapata Paryantam, Vilambakaranam. There is vilamba or there is a delay, sharira pada paryantam, until the drop falling of the body, until the death of the body. Vakyasya vastu nishthatva yujyate. That tattvamasi vakya, whether it is karma nishtam or vastu nishtam, it is niyoga nishtam or vastu nishtam. Is that vakya which conveys niyoga or instruction, or vastunishtam, it reveals the nature of truth. So tasya tavadeva chiram, this Tikakara says that vilambakaranam, the delay until the fall of the body, that vakya indicates that tattvamasi is vastunishtam and natu niyoganishtam vakya. तथा ही the Tikakara illustrates, तथा to illustrate वस्तु तत्व ज्ञानम मोक्ष साधनम. Which ज्ञानम मोक्ष साधनम? वस्तु तत्व ज्ञानम, the knowledge of vastu tattva, the true nature of vastu, that knowledge is moksha sadhanam, the means of moksha, because ignorance which is the cause of bondage, and therefore knowledge is moksha sadhanam. Tacha drishtadvara moksha sadhanamiti. And that too, drishtadvara moksha sadhanam. So it's a drishtaphalam. It gives you drishtaphalam, meaning it gives you moksha, because it's something that you can experience. It is not unverifiable thing, it is something which you can verify yourself. Mukteshvadishu vegaksha pratiksha darshanena. So moksha happens after sharirapata, Mukteshvara, that's all, Mukteshvadishu. So moksha sadhanam is, there is sharirapata paryantam vilambakaranam is there. What is the nature of vilamba? Mukteshvadishu vegaksha pratiksha darshanena. We find that once the arrow is released from the bow, then you have to wait until the momentum exhausted, then only the bow will drop, not until then. The other thing is pratibimbadi vibhrameshu grivastame vedam mukhamedi. Now that is something we don't know, this example. It must be occurring in the text. We have not come across pratibimbadi vibhrameshu. I don't know. Somebody may have a vibhrama or a delusion as to whether grivasthavedam mukhamiri is what I am seeing in the mirror. What is it? Is it my face or what is it? Vibhrama may be there. You may think that you are looking at somebody else. Then grivasthavedam mukham. Hey, this is a face which is on my griva or on my shoulders or on my neck. Iti vastu tattva jnanasya upadi pratibaddhasya. So vastu tattva jnanam, that this is my own face, is upadi pratibaddhasya, because there is a bhrama as to whose face is that, or what am I looking at, that therefore that obstacle in the form of vibhrama looks like I am looking at whose face am I looking at, that has to be, that delusion has to be removed before I come to know that this is my own face. Meaning that the knowledge of reality involves obstacles. In terms of, so knowledge takes place or moksha takes place when the obstacle is removed. Therefore, moksha takes place when the obstacle in the form of prarabdha karma is removed. example of an arrow is how the arrow does not stop until the momentum is exhausted. So that momentum becomes an obstacle for the arrow to stop. Or the delusion becomes an obstacle before I come to realize that this is the face on my neck. Similarly, Pratibimba, Brahma Nivartane, Pratibandhaka, Nivritti Apeksha Darshanena. So Pratibimba, Brahma Nivartane. For Nivartanam, for cessation of the Brahma, the delusion about the reflection. Pratibandhaka, Nivritti Apeksha. The Pratibandhaka is Brahma, whatever. That has to go, then only the knowledge takes place. Tanyayana ihapi pratibandhaka prarabdha karma nivritti paryantam pratiksha upapattehe. But the same rule here also, the prarabdha karma becomes the pratibandhaka in moksha. So that nivritti is required. So in short, the knowledge requires the elimination of pratibandhaka. Tasya tavadeva shiram is that long to wait is a statement of pratibandhaka. That moksha is the immediate, should take place immediately after knowledge, but does not take place because there is a pratibandhaka or an obstacle between the taking place of knowledge and moksha. And this we see elsewhere also, like in case of an arrow released, etc. And so that statement is a statement of removal of pratibandhaka, tasya tavadeva shiram. That shows that it is a statement of knowledge, vastu jnana. If it was simply instruction, there is no pratibandhaka. That may you meditate, then what pratibandhaka is there? So here is a knowledge which involves pratibandhaka, and that's a statement of removal of pratibandhaka. Therefore, this is vastu, then this is the vastunishtam, na to niyoganishtam. Jnana vidhi paksheto. If this was the paksha is niyoganishtam, then this was vidhi of the jnana or meditation. Jnana niyogasya moksha sadhanatvena. Then knowledge is not moksha sadhana, niyoga is moksha sadhana. So may you do this, that instruction or niyoga becomes moksha sadhana. May you know this, then knowledge becomes. So if this is an instruction about knowledge, then knowledge is moksha sadhana. With instruction of doing something, then instruction becomes moksha sadhana. Tasya cha yatha shastrameva sadhanatvena vilambakarana anupattehe. Then you perform Agnihotra karma, perform the meditation. So you perform the meditation as you are told, then there will be results. There is no obstacle involved as far as the karma phala is concerned. Says of course the Tikakara, niyogasya kalantarabhavi phalajanakatvepi. Even instruction also give rise to the phalam at a later time and place. Agnihotradi niyogosya vilambokti nasyat. I don't know whatever that means, As far as the Agnihotradi niyogeshu, so Agnihotram juhuyat, and that kind of an instruction. Vilambokti nasyat, there is no vilamba involved. Anyatha tatrapi syadhi tasya tavadeva shiram. So this is something not very clear as to what exactly even Bhashyakara means here. So let us read that sentence, Bhashyakara. Tasya tavadeva chiram iti cha kshepakaranam na yuktam syat. So if this was a vidhi, is a jnana vidhi, then kshepakaranam na yuktam syat. Bhashyakara says that this delay would not occur. So delay that occurs between knowledge and moksha, that delay would not occur between the instruction about activity and the activity, and the result of the activity. So says Anandagiri, Sadat. No, let us continue Bhashya also. सदात्मतत्वे अविज्ञातेपि सकृत बुद्धि मात्र करणे मोक्ष प्रसंगात्. So if you just meditate, I am Sat, you don't have to know that I am Sat, because you are not Sat. Sadatma tattve avijñādepi. When Sat is Atma, that Tattva, the truth, is not known. For meditation, you don't have to know that I am Brahman, you meditate that you are Brahman. Superimpose the idea of Brahman, therefore avijñādepi sakrit buddhi matra karane. So Bhashyakara says, merely by maintaining this buddhi, I am Brahman, moksha prasangat. Because it is jnanam is vastu tantram and karma is purusha tantram. Therefore, vastu tantram is only when the knowledge takes place of the vastu determines, whether the knowledge takes place or not. So therefore vilamba karanam is possible. As far as karma is concerned, is purusha tantram. Therefore, vilamba karanam cannot be. That's what Bhashyakara seems to say. Therefore, sakrit buddhi matra karanam. You maintain this thought. Once that I am Brahman, then it should give rise to moksha, whatever be the definition of moksha that. So that vilamba would not be. With knowledge, vilamba would be there. With instruction about karma, the vilamba would not be there. That's what Bhashyakara says. Says Anandagiri, Sadatmatva sakshatkarat rudevi sagrat anusthita paroksha buddhi matrat moksha sambhavat. Sadatmatva sakshatkarat rudevi. Even without the sakshatkara, without the immediate knowledge that I am Sat, the Sat is Atma, Sat is my Swarupa, without the immediate knowledge of my being Sat or Brahman. Sagrat Anushrita Paroksha Buddhi. This Paroksha, that I am Sat is merely an attitude or thought. So it is Paroksha Jnanam, not a Paroksha Jnanam. So Paroksha Buddhi Matrat Moksha Sambhavat. So that Paroksha Buddhi I am Sat itself gives you moksha. You don't require the Paroksha Jnanam. So definition of moksha will be different, of course. But they would accept the same moksha. They would think that the instruction will give you moksha. They think that by this meditation that I am Brahman, you get moksha. If you get moksha by meditation, then this vilamba karanam, you don't have to wait for the body to drop, because right here you can maintain that bhavana. So right here you can maintain that bhavana and abide in that bhavana that I am Sat, I am Sat. Therefore you don't have to wait for the death to come for you to be liberated. Whereas in case of this knowledge, there is this obstacle in terms of prarabdha karma, and therefore you have to wait. So sakrit anusthita paroksha buddhi matrat moksha sambhavat. Moksha is possible simply by maintaining this thought that I am Sat. Vilamba abhidhanam anarthakam apadyeta. Then to say that he used to wait until his body falls. In karma, that obstacle need not be. In knowledge, because vastu tantram, therefore this obstacle is there in terms of body, so that obstacle is to go for the total knowledge to take place for moksha. In case of karma, body is not an obstacle. Therefore, vilamba karanam, that he has to wait until for liberation, until the body drops off, that would be meaningless. Yatha sakrit anisthitadapi yagat bhavati svargaha. Just as once you perform jyotistoma yaga, then it gives you svarga. Tad iha. Similarly also, tadvat. Similarly here also, by maintaining I am Brahman, you get liberated. Therefore, immediate result is there. There is a delayed result. So in case of, if this was the Jnana Vidhi, the result would be immediate. If it is a Paroksha Jnanam, the result is delayed, and therefore this is delayed, therefore it is a Paroksha Jnanam. Therefore it is Vastunishtam Vakyam, natu Vidhinishtam. Iha cha chiramiti shepakaranam mokshasya. Here on the other hand, there is a delay for moksha, for the fall of the body. Idi tasmat na idam drashtividhi paramityartha. Therefore, this vakya is not drashtividhi. Drashti means meditation. This vakya is not instruction on meditation. This vakya is knowledge, immediate knowledge, aparoksha jnanam or sat. Now if you go to other tika, line 32, nanu aparoksha jnanot. So little different argument is here. Aparoksha jnanat utpatyarthameva ayam vilambah nuto moksha phale. So Vedantin says that between aparoksha jnana and moksha there is vilamba, which is kshepa karanam, tasya tavadeva chiram. So this person gives another explanation of vilamba. He says there is vilamba for aparoksha jnana to take place. Vedantin says this vilamba is between aparoksha jnana and moksha. This person says there is vilamba between your meditation and aparoksha jnana. So aparoksha jnanotpatyam ayam vilamba. Meaning I am Brahman, that thought flow will create aparoksha jnanam in course of time, and therefore this vilamba is for that. Natu moksha phale. It is not vilamba for moksha phalam, it is vilamba for taking place of the immediate knowledge. Idi ashankya niyogavadina niyogasyeva moksha sadhanatvena. But for a niyogavadi, for the one who always interprets that all vakyas are meant for instruction to karma, for them that niyoga itself is moksha, is sadhana for moksha. Aparoksha jnana anapekshanat. You don't have to know that I am Agnihotra. You just know Agnihotra, that's all. But you don't have to say I am Agnihotra. There is no aparoksha jnana of Agnihotra. Aparoksha jnana anapekshanat niyogasya cha sakrut dhatu anusthana matraneva. So juhote, so anushthan. So then therefore juhuyat. One must do the homa. So by that anusthanam, or sarva aushada avaghata nyayana siddhe. Avaghata means pounding the aushada or different creepers, etc. So, simply why? So, different herbs. Pounding the different herbs, you require to do that for its rasa or extracting juice, etc. Or for whatever reason. You do it once, you don't do it again and again. So, you get the result of pounding by doing pounding once. You don't have to keep on doing it again and again. Similarly also, the Niyoga gives result by doing it once. This is the idea here. Perform Jyotishtama once and you get this Swarga. If that's, you don't have to keep on performing that again and again. So in case of karma, the result comes by doing that karma once. Karma does not require you to do it repeatedly. Karma requires you to do it once to get the result. Knowledge requires that you must become aparoksha jnanam. And having body is an obstacle to that aparoksha jnanam. Therefore that obstacle has to go. Siddhe vilamba anupattihi. Therefore, so anusthana matraneva siddhe. The result should come merely by anusthanam. And therefore, there is no vilamba involved there. So sadatmatva, etc. Bhashyakara said, sadatmatva avijñātepi, avijñāte iti chedaha. Means aparokshata avijñāte. Even sat is not known aparokshata or immediately. Then again says this fellow, nacha drashtavyaheti aparoksha jnana vidhyate atmavare drashtavyaha. So that one says Atma must be known immediately. Aparoksha jnana vidhyate. So it is not meditation that is enjoined here, it is the immediate knowledge that is enjoined, suppose. This is vidhivakya anyway. Tattvamasi somehow vidhivakya. Where not that you meditate upon yourself as Sat, but may you gain aparoksha jnanam that you are Brahman. Like Drashtavya, may you know Atma immediately. Iti aparoksha jnana abhave niyoga na utpadyate. Therefore, if niyoga gives us to result, until aparoksha jnana takes place, niyoga has not served the purpose. Therefore, result will be only when the niyoga is served, when aparoksha jnana takes place. Iti navacham, don't say that. Acharyavan vedeti, acharyopadishta vakya janya jnanasya vidheyatvasya. So what knowledge is enjoined here? Acharyopadishta vakya janya jnanam. Not that tattvamasi, that vidhi vakya janya jnanam, but acharya upadesha janya vakya alone creates aparoksha jnanam, and not this vakya, vidhi vakya tattvamasi. Vidhivajana vaktavyatva. Therefore, acharyavan purusha veda, that veda can we consider instruction where the aparoksha jnana takes place as a result of the instruction of acharya. And so, even if this is an instruction about aparoksha jnana, that aparoksha jnana can take place only through acharya. This sentence, you are Brahman, will not create aparoksha jnana. Only when that sentence comes from acharya, that it will be able to create aparoksha jnana. Therefore, वाक्यस्य एव प्रथम एव अपरोक्ष ज्ञान जनकत्वाच्च इति भावः. And then, so that vakya generates the aparoksha jnanam coming from the acharya. So that is how the vidhi should be understood, and not just the vakya as a vidhi. Okay, so this is just a technical point about the mimamsa, about the nature of the vakya, vidhi vakya. So vastu-nishtha vakya and niyoga-nishtha vakya. Nanu evamapi na vastu-matra-nishthatvam. All right. Suppose this is the vastu-nistham vakyam, nadu niyoga-nistham vakyam. Accept it. Even then, na vastu-matra-nishthatvam asthatum shakyam. Still, in another way now, the Purva Pakshi says, no vakya can be vastu-nistham. Vakyasya karye vyutpannatvena vastumatre buddhi anutpattehe. Vakyasya karye vyut. Every vakya must necessarily convey an action. So tattvamasi being a vakya also should convey an action. That's why they said that amnayasya kriyarthatvat. The entire Veda is meant as an instruction to action, and therefore a vakya cannot itself give rise to the aparoksha jnanam. Some action alone can give rise. So, karya vyutpannatvena. So whenever you hear a vakya, whenever you hear any statement from anybody, it always conveys in you that I have to do something. Every vakya creates in you this understanding or knowledge that I am asked to do something. Every vakya, according to them, must necessarily, directly or indirectly, should tell you to do something. So, vakyasya karya vyutpannatvena vastumatre buddhi anutpattehe. No vakya will tell you the nature of vastu, a vakya will tell you only the nature of action, or that you have to perform an action. Utpattova tasyaha mithyatmaya, that buddhi, even if it is created in a vakya, it is wrong buddhi, because a vakya should convey, create in you a karma buddhi, kartrut buddhi, rather than the jnana buddhi. Karyeva pramanya, every vakya is pramanam, only in karya, in giving you instruction about action and not revealing the nature of things. According to them, a vakya does not reveal the nature of things, a vakya always instructs you into doing something. Karyeva pramanya. So vakya reveals what is, it's called anuvada. Because you already know what is. You do not require shabda to know what is, you know from your own experience what is. So if a vakya tells you what is, it's called anuvada. Because a vakya cannot tell you what is It can only tell you what to do. This is their very considered opinion. And they are not, after all, lot of study is involved in what they call epistemology, how knowledge takes place and how communication takes place. And their conclusion is that a Vakya cannot be a Pramanam if it merely tells you what is. Because what is can always be known through means other than Vakya, like perception, inference, etc. Therefore, a Vakya cannot be valid Pramanam, for if it conveys simply what is. It can be Pramanam only when it conveys what to do. So Tattvamasi can be Pramanam provided it tells you what to do. So now he is coming in a different way, Iti ashanke karya vakyadiva siddha vakyadavi prati darshana says no. There are two kinds of vakyas, karya vakyam and siddha vakyam. What is karya vakyam? A vakyam or the statement that tells you what to do. Siddha vakyam, a vakyam, a statement that tells you what is. Siddha means what is. Prati darshanat, we already saw that earlier because this Tikakar says, putraste jataha. Hey Devadatta, your son is born of you. So that's a vakya that only gives the statement of what is, and Devadatta comes to know. So pratiti darshanat. In Devadatta now there is pratiti or knowledge that I am father. So bhadak abhavena yatharthyach karyevedi siddhevi vyatpattehe. Bhadak abhavena, it is true that Vakya can create knowledge only when there is no obstacle. Any statement will create knowledge. For a statement to create in you this thought that I have to do something, there is no obstacle. But for a statement to create in you what the meaning of the statement is, there can be obstacle. You may not have write samskaras, So samskara, like in this case, antakana shuddhi, etc. So therefore, bhadak, if there is no bhadaka, then a vakya can create the knowledge of what is. If there is a bhadaka such as asambhavana, samshaya bhavana, viparita bhavana, then those obstacles should be removed for the vakya to create aparoksha jnana. But if those bhadakas are not there, in case of Atma, those bhadakas are there, but in case of other siddha vastu, putraste jata, if there are no obstacles, then that vakya creates the knowledge right away. So bhadak abhavena, if vakya creates the knowledge of what is when there is no obstacle to that, then a vakya can create knowledge of what is, and then also the vakya is a pramanam. So vakya is also a pramanam. Vakya is pramanam even for revealing what is. Because the person did not know, and now he knows. So prati darshanat, so the vakya has done its job. So yatharthyach, so vakya reveals the thing as it is, yathartha. Karyeva siddhepi vyatpattehe. So just as the vakya can create an understanding, vyatpatti, an understanding about what I have to do, the vakya also can create an understanding of what is. A vakya, therefore, according to Vedantin, a vakya is valid for both these purposes. That a vakya or a statement is valid for making me understand what I should do, or vakya is valid for making me know what I did not know. So ajñāta jñāpakam pramanam. Shabda also becomes pramanam when it makes me know what I did not know. Putraste jataha. His son is born. I did not know that. Therefore that vakya serves the purpose of making me know what I did not know. So siddhepi vyatpatte. So Vedantin says that the vakya also is valid for siddha vastu, not only for karya or kartavya. Tatra tatra sadhitattvacha na evam. So wherever the occasion has come, this has been clarified. Therefore, it is not that the Vakya is only meant for giving instruction about karma. Nacha. So this is this Tikakara's introduction. What does Anandagiri say? Kincha vidhivadina pratiyamane vakyasya apramanyam. Same thing. Vidhivadina. This is Vadi. Vadi means a person who maintains his opinion, who has a firm conclusion. Vidhivadi. That every Vakya is a Vidhi Vakya. Or a Vakya is Pramanam only when it is Vidhi Vakya. So Tattvamasi can be Pramanam only when it is Vidhi Vakya, not otherwise. So Vidhi Vakyana, Vadina. Pratiyamane arthe Vakyasya Pramanyam. Pratiyama, what is otherwise evident? For that you don't require to be told. That what I should do is not evident to me, therefore I need to be told. Oh, I know that I want to go to heaven. I don't know what to do. So Agnihotram Juhuyat. Jyotishtomena Swargakama Yajeta. Then I realized that I must perform Jyotishtoma karma to fulfill my desire. So this is the Vidhi. Pratiyamane artha. This is called, this is called day and this is called sun and this is called moon and whatever. That I know it otherwise also. You don't need to tell me. I don't need scriptures to tell me. So pratiyamane arthe vakyasya apramanyam vidhivadina. Viparisa lakshanam anutpatti lakshana vacham. So now kincha vidhivadina. Meaning the person who says that this Vakya is a Vidhi, he should tell us why should it be Vidhi. Why should not be a Vakya revealing the truth? Why should not be Vakya for Siddha Vastu, which we are interpreting? We are saying that Tattvamasi is a Vakya that reveals the nature of reality about Tvam. You say that is a Vidhi. So there can be several reasons why you say so. You say that Pratiyamane arthe Vakyasya apramanya. That means that, so what is Pratiyamane artha? Tattvamasi, simply you are Brahman. That's Pratiyamane artha. That's what the Vakya simply conveys. So if you take the literal meaning of this Vakya, it says that you are Brahman. No, you don't have to take it literally. Vidhivadi says, no, this is an injunction. Okay. So what is your problem? Why do you have difficulty in accepting this statement as revealing the nature of Tvam? That Tvam is Sat or Brahma, that's what this Vakya reveals. He says, no, this Vakya cannot reveal that. Why? Vipariyasa lakshanam, anutpatti lakshanam vachyam. Either because you are not Brahman and the Vakya says that you are Brahman, therefore it's a Vipariyasa, it's an error. You are not Brahman and Vakya says you are Brahman, therefore it is not Pramanam. Or anutpatti lakshanam. Oh, this Vakya can never generate in you the knowledge that you are Brahman. See, there can be two reasons why this Vakya does not reveal the identity of Jiva and Brahma. One, that in reality Jiva is not Brahman and this Vakya says you are Brahman, therefore it is Vipariyasa, it says something that is wrong, therefore it is not valid. Therefore it must be Vakya word Vidhi. Or you are Brahman, all right. And Vakya says you are Brahman. But then that knowledge that I am Brahman can never take place. You can never know Brahman. Says you are Brahman, but you can never know Brahman. Therefore, the Vakya will not create the knowledge you are Brahman. Therefore, it is not valid. So, what is Pramanam? Pramanam is that which creates in you knowledge of what was not known. If a statement cannot create knowledge, then it's not a valid statement. Or a statement says something different from what is, then also it's not a valid statement. So when Vidhivadi, when you do not accept this Tattvamasi as a statement of reality truth, that Tvam or Jiva is Brahman, you do not want to accept it, there must be one of these two reasons in your mind. Therefore, you do not accept it. Tadubhayam durvacham. He says none of this is right. That this Vakya does not say what is not. That Shvetaka is not Brahman and he told you are Brahman. That's not right. And the Shveta can never know I am Brahman, that also is not right. So, this is, more understandable, nachayati. So then, Bhashyakara says, Nacha tattvamasi ityukte naham sat iti pramanavakya janita buddhi nivartayitum shakya na utpanna iti va shakyam vaktum sarvopanishad vakyānām tatparataya eva upakshayāt yatha agnihotrādi vidhijanita agnihotrādi kartavyata buddhīnām atatharthatvam anutpannatvam va na shakyate vaktum tadvat. So, of course, this Karma Kandi must be told his own example. Yatha Agnihotrādi Vidhi Janita. So, Agnihotram Juhuyat. That's the Agnihotra Vidhi. One should perform Agnihotra Karma. That's what you are told. Agnihotrādi Kartavyata Buddhinam. So, when you say, hey, perform Agnihotra Karma, then in this listener, buddhi is generated, I should perform Agnihotra. Hey, bring a glass of water. Then that fellow will bring the glass of water only when in that person the buddhi is created, hey, I am told to bring water, I should bring water. That's called Kartavyata Buddhi, So when you are told to do something, by an authority of course, such as Veda, then in the listener, the buddhi, kartavyata buddhi is created, hey, I should do this, So that is the purpose of these statements of Veda, to create in people kartavyata buddhi. The nitya, naimityaka karma should be performed, so I should perform nitya karma, I should perform naimityaka karma, I should perform prayaschitta karma, I should do this. So Mimamsaka says that the primary purpose of Veda is to create in human being kartavyata buddhi. That I should do. A person will do something only when this buddhi or this knowledge, thought that I should do is created. Then only the person will do. You can instruct do this, and if that buddhi is not developed, that I should do, it will not happen. See, very often our instructions go effectless, because in that person nothing is created. Hey, do this. Why should I do that? You ask a child, take this chocolate, doesn't come, because I should take this chocolate, that buddhi is not created, Bend down, prostrate, he just stands there. Because I should bend down, that kartavya buddhi is not developed in him, even though he is told. Similarly, if the kartavya buddhi is not developed, then a person will not do. So, purpose of Veda is to create in human kartavya buddhi, so that he can be guided as to what is right thing to do. That's called dharma. Chodana lakshana dharma. So, Veda's primary purpose is chodana, in instructing, in directing you, in commanding you to do what is to be done and avoid what is not to be done. Because human being has a free will, therefore he must make the choices. There is no choice in making the choice. We have to make choice in every situation, and we should then make the right choice. So Vedas tell you what is the right choice in every situation. What is it? Vidhi Vakya says what is the right choice. Nisheda Vakya says what's the wrong choice. So by avoiding what is wrong and by doing what is right, I am helped to follow dharma in my life, because dharma is a means of moksha. Dharma means right karma. The right karma is called dharma, and that's the means of moksha. Karmeti mimamsakaha. Whether moksha or not moksha, it is definitely means for your self-development. There is a question about it. So karma can never be dismissed. Even if you don't accept karma as a means of moksha, you have to accept karma as a means of self-growth, which is required for moksha. This is not understood sometimes, so karma is dismissed like that, but karma has a place. Except that there is a karma alone in the place because karma will give you moksha, dharma will give you moksha. No, that is another extreme. So kartavyata buddhi. Now when you are told do this, then it creates in me the kartavyata. If it comes from an authentic person. When that instruction comes from a source, which I look upon as an authority, as valid, as my well-wisher, understand? So when I know that this my well-wisher is telling me this, not any Tom, Dick and Harry, otherwise I will not. So Veda is accepted as my well-wisher, that's called Shraddha. What is Shraddha in Veda? That Veda is my well-wisher. Scriptures are my well-wishers. Therefore, when they say something, it is meant for my well-being. Therefore, I should do. So, therefore, the Shabda, not any Vakya is Pramana. Vakya coming from an authoritative source. Alukshaha dharma kama syuhu. Ye tatra brahmanaha. So, brahmanas are there and they are also soft in nature. They are also compassionate in nature. Dharma kamaha, they themselves follow dharma, etc. So, go to those people. Don't go to anybody else. So, Veda is that source. Or the statement of Acharya coming from Veda also is looked upon as that. So, Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya. It applies not only Vedanta, applies to Karmakanda also. More so, because what the Acharya says, I have to do something. And I will not be willing to undertake any exertion unless it is beneficial to me. So when I have a conviction that what the Acharya is telling me is beneficial to me, then alone I will be inclined to do it. So thus, the Veda Vakya, Vidhi Vakya is meant to create Kartavyata Buddhi, Agnihotram Juhuyat. One should perform Agnihotra Karma, means that creates in me this understanding, knowledge that Agnihotra is beneficial to me. Agnihotra will enable me to achieve what I want to achieve in my life, and therefore I should do it. So, Bhashyakara says that when, in case of Agnihotra, etc., when an instruction is given, injunction is given that do this, then it does not fail to create the Kartavya Buddhi in the person. It creates. When right combination is there, when right authority source is there, and when the person having Shraddha is there, of course. When right combination is there between the speaker and the listener. So when it comes from Vedas to a person with Shraddha in Veda, then that Vakya definitely creates Kartavyata Buddhi, not that the Vakya does not create. Not that Vakya does not create an opposite Buddhi I should not do. That Vakya creates Kartavya Buddhi or does not create a mistake, create an error. It is effective Vakya. As in Agnihotra, etc. So says, Agnihotra adi Vidhi Janita Agnihotra adi Kartavyata Buddhina. So Kartavyata Buddhi, I should perform Agnihotra Karma, that Buddhi that is generated in me as a result of listening to instruction, perform Agnihotra. Then Atatharthatvam na shakyade vaktum. You cannot say that the Vakya perform Agnihotra creates a knowledge different from that. Oh, he told me to not perform Agnihotra. He told me to perform Jyotishtama. It doesn't happen. Or Anutpannatvam, or he hears the Vakya and doesn't understand what it is. Vakya is clear that I am told to perform Agnihotra. So that it does not happen that the Vakya does not create knowledge. It does create knowledge. It is when the right combination is there. and it creates the right kartavya buddhi, not the wrong knowledge also. So just as in case of Agnihotradi, this is the karma kanda, vidhivadi. However, vidhi does not fail to create the right knowledge and create the knowledge and create the right knowledge. So also this is in the Vakya, no doubt. That's in Niyoganishta Vakya. But the rule that applies to Niyoganishta Vakya, why should it not apply to Vastunishta Vakya? Because both are Veda Vakyas. If Niyoganishta Vakya being Vedic Vakya is a Pramanam, then Vastunishta Vakya being Vedic Vakya also is Pramanam. And a Pramanam will create the right knowledge, not wrong knowledge, and will create knowledge also. So just as in case of Vidhinishta Vakya, you accept that knowledge is created and right knowledge is created, here also you have to accept that this Vastunishta Vakya also creates the knowledge and the right knowledge. So that's the argument here. We'll continue that tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.